Sure. Martin Pinilla II, managing member, co-founder of Barlington Group. Sure. So in 2002, I started investing in Little Havana. And along the way, ran into a fellow investor. His name is Bill Fuller. He became, in 2004, we forged a union and created Barlington Group. It was initially created for the acquisition of a hotel called the Barlington Hotel that sits in Little Havana on Northwest 2nd Street. And we were unsuccessful in the acquisition of the hotel, but the name remained.
Okay.
And since then, we've been doing deals in and around the different neighborhoods of Miami's urban core.
Okay.
Since then, we've been able to purchase close to around 50 properties that we still own, and we've helped redevelop. The idea is to buy the neighborhood in mass, to acquire critical mass in order to be able to change the flavor of the neighborhood. You know, some call it gentrification, some call it revitalization, and so we're just taking what once were great neighborhoods in Miami and giving them some love. Real estate we treat as our palette, as my palette to create.
Okay.
And so it filled a lot of interesting requirements that I was looking for. One of them being that I could kind of be my own boss. Number two, it allowed me to apply my creativity and at the same time kind of pay the bills, right? My father started in real estate with buying a couple houses and then switched to buying apartments. And so my first purchase in 2002 in Little Havana was a fourplex that I bought, and that building was the start of me learning how buildings kind of breathe, so to speak.
Okay.
So I would take one unit would become vacant, I would fix it up, I would get the next, re-rent it at a higher rent, fix up the next unit, and so that was my start into real estate.
Okay.
So the challenges are that every day you are dealing with problems that you have to come up with solutions for, and so I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's a daily mind share of trying to come to solutions and resolutions. So that's one of the challenges. The rewards are on many levels. It allows me to work with other great people via when it comes to the tenants, we have some great tenants that are really excellent at what they do, and that comes from visual artists to a lady that runs a dance studio, to chefs and food operators, and so that's definitely very rewarding. The impact I believe that we're making to the city is also, I think, very rewarding when others from outside say, "Hey, I was just in the in Little Havana, and we had a great experience." And so, the real estate can be treated as simply as buying a building, fixing it up, moving the rents up, or with a little bit more thought, can be treated as an activator to a city. So whole neighborhoods have transformed off of, one catalytic, concept, whether it be the New Times on Ocean Drive, whether it be Ball and Chain in Little Havana, and these are those types of rewards where although everybody, there's a business model behind it, there is definitely a strong social benefit tied to it.
Okay.
So Miami's a super young city. I definitely consider it a city of the future.
Okay.
I definitely believe that, the fact that I was raised in Miami, I consider myself, blessed that I'm in this moment of time in Miami's growth. Cities all over the world compete against each other for residents, right? And so, it seems in the last 20 years, we've seen some amazing growth. We've brought a cultural aspect to the city. We've had a real renaissance in the culinary scenes, and the development that's going on in the urban core is really, at the end of the day, what's spawning the rebirth of all these older neighborhoods, because there's bodies that are moving in. So your question is I am very bullish on the city of Miami. For the long term. Our strategy has always been to buy and to hold the properties, we, in our mind, as long as it permits, generationally. And so in any real estate market, there's cycles, so there's ups and downs, and so maybe there are some components or some neighborhoods in the market that seem like they might be a little bit high, but they're still relatively inexpensive if you compare them to other great cities. Because Miami is a city that is taking a global spotlight, I think we're attracting a great amount of talent that Miami normally would lose and go out to New York. We're getting great operators that are coming from New York, that are coming from Europe, that are coming from South America into the city. We have a tenant that we just signed up that's bringing a burger concept. That group's out of Venezuela. So I think that's definitely something that I'm seeing every day is new talent from abroad bringing new concepts in. So in the majority of our portfolio is retail. Okay. We originally started investing in apartments, and we switched to the commercial aspect of it because we believed that, number one, there was less of it, so it was easier to control it in mass, and number two, it allowed us to fill those properties with operators and with concepts that would attract people from out of the neighborhood into the neighborhood to experience the neighborhood. And so the fact that we're mostly retail, there is a change occurring in the retail landscape. And it has to do with the technology, it has to do with Amazon, and so you're starting to see a lot of the tenants that are your traditional great tenants, closing up shop. From Macy's to Sears and Kmart, and anyways, so what's new? What's coming new? So what's coming new is that the retail is going to be more service oriented and more experiential, and so yes, right now online shopping is 5%, and that may increase, but at the end of the day, the shopping experience is a national pastime, right? It's something that you do together with your family. There's a certain kind of high that someone might get when they go and they buy their shirt and they try it on and they get it, and so that has to be coupled with the outing, right? Yeah. That ice cream that you're gonna go get in the afternoon, the really great restaurant, and so I think retailers are rethinking, how do I make my experience in the store, almost experiential, right? And at the same time, link it with the online, right? So you might walk into a store, they may hand you an iPad or virtual goggles in the future, and you may go into your changing room, and instead of having to change into 20 pieces of clothes, they may be fitting you,